Evergreen, Colorado, June 1995. David Chase was a man known for his strength, his skill, and his love for the outdoors. At 42, he worked as a cabinet maker and was described as a devoted husband and father figure. He and his wife, Judy, had 2 foster children they were in the process of adopting. Friends and family knew David as an experienced mountaineer, someone deeply passionate about protecting nature and preserving the wilderness. But on the night of June 6, 1995, David's life ended under circumstances that remain clouded in suspicion to this day. That morning, David had gone to work with his neighbor, Matt Oraoski, a handyman with a reputation for drinking and getting into trouble. Judy had warned her husband about him, asking David not to keep working with Matt. David promised this roofing job would be their last. The day seemed normal enough. By noon, the 2 men had finished their work at the local Elks Club, then cleared brush on the property. David cashed a check worth $1,800, a large advance payment for another project, before the men headed to a local bar called On the Rocks. Hours passed. Drinks flowed. By nightfall, David never came home. Judy grew worried, and by the next morning, her worry turned to panic. When she went to Matt's house to ask about her husband, she was met with conflicting stories. At first, Matt claimed he had left David at the bar playing pool and gone home alone. But later, his girlfriend told Judy something very different, that Matt had said David went swimming in Bear Creek River that night. The problem? Judy knew this was impossible. David, a trained mountaineer, had studied hypothermia in depth. He knew that plunging into an icy, snow-fed river was essentially a death sentence. He would never do something so reckless. When police questioned Matt, his story shifted again. He told them that after drinking all day, the 2 had unloaded brush into the river, a detail Judy immediately dismissed, since David would never dump debris into nature. Matt then said David suddenly announced he was going for a swim, jumped into the freezing water, and told him, "Pick me up in Morrison." According to Matt, he left David there and simply went home. But there were problems with his version of events. The supposed swim happened near a bar full of people and just 50 feet from a fire station where help could have been called instantly. Matt never sought help. For 6 weeks, David's whereabouts remained unknown. Then on July 24th, 1995, his body was discovered downstream in Bear Creek River, tangled in low brush. What the autopsy revealed cast Matt's story into even deeper suspicion. The official cause of death was drowning, but toxicology showed no alcohol in David's system, contradicting Matt's claim of heavy drinking all day. Even worse, David's neck was broken. His legs had cuts. His clothes were torn violently, leaving him with only shoes, socks, and part of a pant leg. This was no accidental swim. Something had happened to David before he ended up in the river. When confronted, Matt changed his story again, saying this time that David had accidentally fallen into the water while they were unloading brush. Still, he admitted he did nothing to call for help. Suspicion deepened when Matt's girlfriend discovered $800 in his car money he could not explain. Investigators believed it may have been part of David's $1,800 cash withdrawal. Adding a bizarre twist, a private investigator named Phil Harris later claimed that David's spirit contacted him, revealing he had been murdered after a fight with Matt over money. According to Harris, David said Matt struck him, broke his neck, and with the help of another man, dumped his body. But before Harris could pursue the case further, He died suddenly of a heart attack, leaving Judy to carry on the fight for answers alone. While, despite the mounting inconsistencies, suspicious evidence, and Judy's determination, prosecutors never charged Matt. To this day, the case remains officially unsolved. For Judy, the tragedy was compounded by more unanswered questions. She later theorized that David's death may have been tied to something larger, a dark conspiracy related to their work as foster parents. After his death, the children they were set to adopt were taken away, and she never saw them again. Nearly 3 decades later, the mystery of David Chase's death lingers. Was it an accident, as Matt claimed, or a violent cover-up fueled by money, lies, and betrayal? Whatever the truth, one fact remains certain. David Chase, a man who devoted his life to protecting others, met an end that was anything but natural.